to in a minute. Um, Now we're in the age of completely in the age of Aquarius. It is all about completely all about raising to Christ consciousness between everybody. This is a golden age. This is what it's about. But to get there, we have to release everything from our past. We can't just avoid it. We have to face it, which means a lot of silent sitting, sitting in silence, contemplating, many tears maybe. But there's nothing wrong with tears, believe me. Each one saved by Jesus himself. For those who believe, for those who don't, then that's your choice. But at the end of the day, this is more about what's coming, the events unfolding. Which, if you've read the Book of Revelations, they're all coming into pass now anyway. So, right. So what I'd like to do is play this video. You get an idea of what's coming over the next few years, starting with June and July. Now, June and July is like the purging period when we have to release. We've got no choice. But it's going to go three ways. It's not going to go two ways. You're either going to fall into it, go with it, and become the true, authentic self you always were meant to be, or you're going to sink back into distraction, drink, drugs, whatever you do, to suppress these pains that you can't handle, which is not the good way. But another way is that people who won't be able to cope with this, who don't find distraction, will go out and hurt others in the street, get angry, get violent because they can't control it. And as you see, there's a lot of stabbings, blatant stabbings in the street now. People are just not holding back, and it's going to get worse and it's going to get better. So, I mean, you say, yeah, either one or the other. No, it's both. For those who have faith, and there for the truth of their authentic self, they will rise in that joy. By doing that, they're going to lift others around them. But not only this, when you become your true joyous self, your authentic self, you've got this energy about you. So you can walk into a room and you'll light up the room. But there'll be certain people in there what are angry with you straight away, because you are basically a mirror to their reflection. And all they see is a negative, the bad part of them. And they're going to blame you for this, when it's you're just showing them what they truly are inside. This, and then it's all to do with energies. Anyway, let me play this video for you. Have a listen to this. I'll start. It's basically a female, American female. She had a NDE, near-death experience. She met a father who took her to Jesus, and Jesus told her of the 4 events unfolding from June. So I'm going to play it now, and then, I'll say a bit more after. Okay? God bless you.
Focused, and there he was, Jesus. I'm not exaggerating when I say that trying to describe him feels impossible. He wasn't like any image or depiction I'd ever seen. His presence was both human and divine, radiating a love and power that I've never felt before. His eyes, they held everything: compassion, wisdom, and a depth that seemed to see straight through me, not just who I am, but who I've been and who I'm meant to be. I fell to my knees, not because I was afraid, but because being in his presence was so humbling. He reached out and placed his hand on my shoulder. "Sarah," he said, his voice gentle yet commanding. "There is something you must see, something my people need to know before I return." And then he showed me 4 events, each one more incredible and sobering than the last. The first event he called the Great Distraction. I saw people all over the world glued to their devices, phones, screens, technology, completely absorbed in things that didn't matter. Families were sitting together but not talking. Friends were more concerned with their social media likes than with each other. Even believers were caught up in the noise, losing sight of what truly mattered. Jesus turned to me and said, "This is how the enemy works. He keeps them distracted, focused on the temporary, so they forget the eternal. Tell my people to wake up, to refocus their hearts and minds on me." The second event was the Great Deception. I saw a world mesmerized by signs and wonders. Beautiful lights appeared in the sky. and beings of incredible beauty and charisma began to speak to humanity. They spoke of peace, unity, and enlightenment, but their words were laced with lies. Even strong believers were being drawn in, seduced by their promises. These are not of me, Jesus said. They will mix truth with lies, leading many astray. Tell my people to stay rooted in my word, for it is the only foundation that cannot be shaken. The third event was the Great Awakening. This one filled me with hope. I saw waves of light spreading across the world as people turned back to God. Families were praying together. Communities were coming alive with worship and repentance. Miracles were happening everywhere. Healings, deliverances, lives transformed in an instant. But with this awakening came persecution. Believers were mocked, attacked, and even killed for their faith. Yet their joy was unshakable. My spirit will move powerfully in these days, Jesus said, but the cost of following me will be great. Tell them to stand firm, for the reward is eternal. The fourth and final event was the Great Return. The sky split open, and there he was, coming in glory with legions of angels. The whole world stopped. Every knee bowed, and every tongue confessed that Jesus is Lord. Some did so in awe and worship. Others did so in terror. It was the most beautiful and powerful thing I've ever seen. This is what awaits, Jesus said. Tell them I am coming soon. Tell them to be ready, for no one knows the day or the hour. As the vision began to fade, I found myself still kneeling before Jesus, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what I had witnessed. Yet his gaze never wavered. It was as if the entire universe could wait while he spoke directly to me, his words embedding themselves in my heart. Sarah, he said, the world is entering a time unlike any it has known. You've seen what is to come, but remember this, I am always with you, and I am always with my people. My love is unchanging, and my promises are unbreakable. Even in the midst of trials and chaos, those who trust in me will find peace beyond understanding. He paused, and the light around him seemed to grow even warmer, as if his presence alone was enough to banish every fear. There will be days of doubt, even for you, but know this. I chose you for this message, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Trust in my strength, not your own. And remember, the message is not yours to carry alone. My spirit will guide you and give you the words when the time comes. Before I could respond, he placed his hand over my heart, and I felt a rush of love so profound that it brought tears to my eyes. Tell my people that I see their struggles, their fears, and their failures. I am not distant from their pain. I am the God who heals, who restores, who makes all things new. They are never alone. I am always with them. As his hand lifted, the brilliance of the light began to shift, and I could sense the experience was coming to an end. Now, Sarah, he said with the gentlest urgency, it is time for you to go back. Your work is not finished. Tell them.
Well, there you go. So basically, we know these are coming anyway. It's in the book of Revelations and everything, but it is close, and Jesus will be coming back in some stage. I always thought it would be the Christ consciousness waking up in everybody. But I do believe Jesus will come back for a short period to destroy the Antichrist and put things back into faction, then leave us again. People think they're going to be saved, you know. Oh, I've seen Christians who are cocky say, yeah, we're going to be saved, yeah. And yet they got no respect or love for anybody else. They got no spiritual love. And the biggest sin, what the churches are doing, they're trying to cut the spirituality out of it and saying you can only get to God through me. But God is within our hearts and our minds. We are God. We are the universe, just in this little bubble of millions of atoms. It's up to you now. It's your choices, your free will. staying in the silence is hard and uncomfortable at times. But you might find it starts better in the morning, start your mornings on a new routine. So when you wake up, you might need to go to the toilet, go to the toilet. If you can fast, if you're on a fasting day, fast, have a glass of water. You can actually drink boiling lemon with ginger in it, but as long as it's got no sugar or no honey or anything like that, it's just pure boiling water with lemon and ginger. That's a good refreshing drink, and it doesn't affect your fasting. It's only when you have stuff what needs digesting, like calories, sugars, and all that sort of thing. But drinking herbal teas without, make sure they haven't got nothing in them. But they're usually sort of like natural anyway. But yeah, stick to your fasting. Do whatever you need to do. But silence is the golden key. Go out in the back garden, take your shoes and socks off, just sit barefoot in the ground for an hour, and contemplate the beauty of the world. You can actually visualize yourself where your feet are on the ground and that they're running roots to the center of the earth, which is the heart of Mother Gaia, our soul's planet, our planet's soul center. And as they do touch her heart and then come back to us, they come out of our crown chakra straight to the sun, straight into the universe to absorb all the light. So then it's just visualizing that. As you're breathing in golden light. So imagine your body's being filled with this golden light. And just raise your vibration that way. Keep practicing that, especially first thing in the morning. Affirmations, like I say, I listen to them every night. As soon as I go to bed, I whip it on, whichever one I'm doing. Gratitude, alignment. There's hundreds of thousands of them, literally hundreds of thousands of them. Your choice. I like I say in the past, Rising Higher Vibration Meditations by Jess Shepherd. She does meditations, guided meditations, as well as affirmations and other things. But I mean, they're very powerful, and you will notice within 21 days how amazing you'll feel after. They don't release your old, but they make it easier to face. Because everything what we're all the pains and suffering are based in our subconscious mind, the feeling mind, not a thinking mind, not a talking mind, not a chattering mind. It don't do anything to us. Well, so with that said, now's your choice to make the most powerful decision in your life, which way you're going to go, how much you're willing to put into it. You'll find that a lot of the things what you can't, all these pains are coming up, and it says that memories will come with them. I'm getting no memories, so it's all like, well, I can't. It's like looking for writing on a wall, what has been covered in black paint. I just can't see anything there. So what am I actually trying to find? Reaching in for this pain, this uncomfortability. And it's not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. It's just a matter of sitting there and allowing it to come through. And when you think it's all over, it carries on. But it does get easier and easier over the time period. If you can stay in meditation, brilliant. Stick to a meditation. You don't have to just do a silent meditation. There's so many different ones. You focus on your breath, feeling your breath going in and out, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, doing the four breaths in, hold for 7, 8 breaths out. There's so many different breaths. You find a decent one you're comfortable with, but the slower you can slow your breath down, the longer you spread it out, the more relaxed. You then go into what they call a parasympathetic nerve or something, which helps you. You then go into a full state of relaxation, which is like being one with the universe, and you feel so much at peace. You got no ills, you got no worries. Everything just fades away from you. Then you got visualization in meditation. I used to do the one where I'd see a beautiful future and then actually live through that future. And it got to the stage where I was sitting in my living room one day and I decided to expand that love I was feeling in meditation. And as I was expanding it, I was on the outside of this energy looking down, and I noticed the house disappearing, getting smaller, and then the earth getting smaller until it was big enough for me to cuddle. and then just observing all the planets in the universe, in our solar system. And I tell you what, it was the only thing I can describe it as was having a Christmas day with all the families, everybody, cousins, aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, nans and granddads, the whole kit and caboodle. And it was the most warmest day of my life. It reminded me once, the only time I ever remembered Christmas as a child, when we was all around my nan and granddad's on my father's side, and we was playing this game called Newmarket. We have a queen, jack, king, and a ace of different colours, and you know, in the middle, when you put a penny on each one, and then play this game, and you collect. If you lay one of these cards down, you collect the money off it, and so on. But I never used to, I wasn't a normal kid. I'd observe the world around me, and that was the most special day I can ever remember in my life. Just looking at everybody in peace and tranquility. It was like I was lifted from all pain for a little while. Most peaceful time of my life. So yeah, there's that, and then you got your different. Like I say, there's so many different meditations. You just have a look, find out what you're comfortable with. Stick to one you're comfortable with. If you don't like it, you can change it. There is a Jose Silva method on YouTube. Jose, H-O-Z-E, and Silva, S-I-L-V-A. Look for his method of meditations and stuff. You'll find them good. But like I say, the most important and imperative for you to do is decide which way you want to go, which side of the coin you want to live, which one you want to grow on. Write down a list of where you feel stuck. Write down a list of the things you'd like to see. I mean, I'm doing journals, but I'm not very clever with writing. I wouldn't call ADD or ADHD or whatever it is I've got. I'm just had this. It's never been diagnosed in me because I was pushed from pillar from post and no one ever cared. It was just about pushing me away. There's too much light in me. I would rebel against everybody. When I got told I needed this operation for Graves' disease, else I'd die, because my thyroids had just basically burst into hyperactivity, and nothing I could eat was, it's just like everything I was eating was just like cardboard. And just going in and going out. I was getting no nutrition. I was losing weight like mad. And I was supposed to go for this operation. Basically, cut a long story short, every month I had a jab with this green liquid in my arm. And then a couple of weeks later, they'd take a blood test. On the fourth time, they'd give me a booster, did the blood test, and then sent me a 7-page letter saying that, waiving all rights, that if anything happens to you, tough, it's on you. You got to take this medication for the rest of your life because you'll be fat and lethargic. So I just thought, you know what? Oh, I ain't having this. I'd rather die a happy man, healthy man than. So I've just packed a carrier bag full of clothes from my flat. I lived in a place called King's Lynn in Norfolk. And I made a phone call to one of my friends who his father owns a fun fair, and I travelled with him. And within 6 months, the illness had gone. But every illness basically boils down to stress and an imbalance within ourselves. You see, when we're at ease, we don't have no illness. But when we're off balance or dis-ease, then we get illnesses. And we can heal them ourselves. We can heal them ourselves, anything. There's nothing we can't heal. Blindness, everything. And for those who want to dispute that, then Joe Dispenza's the one to speak about that. Go and check his out. And you'll find out that he's got people doing 4-day courses who are walking blind and coming out seeing. Illnesses, what was told, will never be cured, just fading away. It's all there. We have got all the tools we need now. Oh, it's 10:10 in the morning. Double figures. We have got all the tools. It's just the knowledge we're lacking because we was, they kept that from us about power of control. We've only been fed what they want us to live off. They've been spitting out things to keep us in fear because people are easier to control when they're in fear. People like me will never be controlled. My fear is from what I hold inside me, not what the world can offer me. I don't fear anything in the world. I burnt down the school I was in, burnt down the headmaster's office. with all the paperwork. After a year of me doing that, irrelevant to what happened to me, the school was taken over by the college next door, and the college made new rules, and there was no more teachers scamming money out of it. There was no more bullying, and it turned into a better place. And it's like they say about Shiva. You know, they called him that Shiva the Destroyer. But what he'd do is he'd go to a place like Sodom or Gomorrah, where it's just pure evil, and he'd destroy it. And in 20, 30 years' time, nature would take back over, and it'd be ready to reuse. I always felt shame for what I did then, but then I look back and it's like the heavens are actually patting me on the back because I'm making it aware that all the schooling, education is a control. It's a way of controlling you. You know, you start off by walking, your mother praises you up, you go to school, and then suddenly, no, that's wrong, do it again. Then you're trapped in this world of fear and figuring things out and problems. And this is how they want to keep you. By having you like that, you know, they've easily got you under their thumb. But it's transcending that as well. So basically, you've got to transcend everything you've ever believed, everything you've ever been told. All you got to know is that Buddha came to teach us about the mind, to quieten the mind, to get one with the body. Miracles can happen like that. But Jesus, with a heart-mind coherence, so you're thinking from the heart and not the mind. Now imagine thinking from the heart. So somebody down the street's just done something really wrong to another person. Whereas your mind is saying, oh, that dirty, evil, blah, 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 blah. Your heart sees further and says, okay, well, that's one person who's suffering and just took his experience out on another person. And you can, just by thinking from the heart, if you was to say words to these people, you'd comfort them or calm the situation and not help alleviate it. So anyway, yeah, stick to your grounding if you can. Walks as much as you want. Meditation is in walking, you know, walk. Observe the skies, you know, listen to the sounds, smell the air. Be one with your movement. But it is about being one. Keep out the distracting thing called the mind, the thinking mind. You aren't the thoughts. You don't create the thoughts. They just flow through you. Apart from that, all I can say is just carry on shining, because I see the potential in everybody. And it doesn't matter which way you go in life. You know, you've been given a choice, and it's our choices, free will. And I can see you all shining so bright. You know, you smile at somebody who's sad or low. You don't even know that person. You might just save that person's life just by being acknowledged. You know, simple things like that. Seeing the homeless, just buying him some food or buying him a drink and making him feel like he's not left out. I just need to feel, a lot of them need to feel like they're noticed. Because obviously you speak to the homeless, they say no one cares, you know, that no one wants to help out, this, that and the other. But when you help them out, they realise, and it's sort of like something deep inside them triggers something off, which then starts them on this triggering thing, you know, and they start working things out for themselves. And 90% of the time, or 96% of the time, they will end up back on their feet until the next struggle. But it's only the old coming back up. This is what all it ever is. And it's not nothing new coming up, it's the old coming back up. So with that said, all I can say is I love you all. You're worth every penny on the planet, if not more. You are worth more than any bit of gold. Your life is precious. It's the most amazing thing. You are unique. No one is the same as you. No one on this planet. No one will understand you because they've only experienced their own thing. So all I can say is carry on shining. Do your best the best way you can. And don't give up your love. Grow on it. Shine on it. Be the best version of yourself for you, for your future. Don't forget, we're doing this for our kids. It's that the kids are our future, not the politicians. They're trying to take it all away, the truth of it, you know. We should be giving our children, you know, taking them to school and saying, right, what would you like to learn? As long as they got a basic English and maths, they know how to read, write and add and multiply and all that. The rest they can learn, but if they say, right, I'm going to be an artist, well, you put the focus in on the artistry. You bring the best out of them. You don't just try and say, right, no, you've got to do all this, because that's not giving you freedom. That's taking away your freedom for control, which you already know this. So no, there's not much good in education, because they don't bring out the truth. They don't give you the universal laws, God's laws, not man's laws. God's laws stand above man's law in every direction. The universal laws, law of attraction, law of karma. And if children learnt this from an early age, they'd be wiser than the most wisest of sages we've got on the planet now. It's as simple as that. I love you all. As I said, you're worth every penny on the planet. I'll keep going to cut out, and then I'll say something new. So this is it. I've got to say goodbye. Have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy your day with your families. If you haven't got families, or you don't feel wanted, just pray. Send love to the people you don't feel wanted from. Try it. See what happens. You might get a call off them, because it's surprising that we think, oh, they don't care about us anymore. And because we put that barrier up, that's where it goes. But when we pray and think, oh, I miss my family, I know I did wrong or whatever, I wish they would accept my apology, or I wish they would speak to me. Even if you didn't do something wrong, they just accuse you of something. Don't blame them. It's not about blame. It's about equilibrium. And, it's not about forgiving. It's just about releasing things that don't serve you. And these ways, their old ways, don't serve us anymore. So God bless you all. I love you all. Shine bright, stay strong, and learn to be quiet. In the mind, the heart, everything. And let your visions be your ruler. Visualize Jesus with you all the time. Every time you're walking, Buddha, Jesus, whoever it's there for you. And I know you want the best for yourself and humanity, even though they pee you off at times, because they do me. That's just the ego in people. But you got to remember, they're just innocent little children who's programmed in the way they are. So knowing that, give them a chance. Give them love. Forgiveness is the key. God bless.